Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day in Tucson, Arizona, and we're all staying home, so let's do some yoga together. Today I'd like to do a sequence on our side and our belly. This is something that we do on a regular basis in my classes. It's particularly helpful for building the strength of the hips, the bone strength around the hips too, and the spine. The whole back is benefited by this practice. And the breath, and the mind, and the heart. So let's just take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out the mouth. Smile, wiggle your fingers, and let's lie down on our sides. You can make a pillow for your head with your arm, or you could use a block under your head so that you feel supported here on your side. The shoulders are stacked, the hips are stacked, and the knees are stacked. And let's bring the knees out to a 90-degree angle from the hips, and then the legs, the shins can stick straight down from the knees. Take some more breaths here just to get settled. Feel free to readjust at any time. You can move your hips, your knees into a position that feels better for you. To move into our 3-part clamshell series, I do like to point my knees down on more of an angle. We're going to keep our feet together and just open and close the knee. And you can pace this with your breath in any way you like. This time I'd like to take an in breath to open and to close, and an out breath to open and to close. And we just want to do this enough times to get that hip starting to feel a little bit of work, a little bit of warmth building there. We're shooting for a little more than 5. Whatever number you get to is fine. Everybody who comes to my classes knows I don't count. I can't keep track. So that's probably enough for this foot. Now we're going to keep the knees together and just lift the top foot up and down. Again, you could inhale to lift, exhale to lower, or you could take a whole inhale for the up and down and an exhale for the up and down as well. And you just want to be able to feel it right here in that hip joint. We're wanting to do it until we feel like we've had enough. Take a moment to rest, maybe a breath. And then we're going to take the whole leg, knee and foot, and just lift them all the way up and down. And this is the weight lifting portion here. We're lifting the weight of the entire leg with the structure of the hip. Keep that breath flowing. It's not important how high you lift it. In fact, lifting it just a little is actually harder than going all the way up. Just maybe 1 or 2 more. And then let's rest. Take a break and let's start to stretch both legs out as long as we can. Take the top arm over. Take the bottom arm out as well. I'm bumping into my wall here. This is a balance pose. We're on the side body. You're wobbling a little bit. Add a little extra wobble to really engage the core. Rocking a little bit forward and back. Take 1 more big breath. Let it out. And then come back into your side pose. Let's take a moment here. We're going to move into an upper body twist. So we'll take the top arm up in the air, roll those fingers around, wiggle, get some movement in the wrist. You can even move the whole arm around, big elbow circles, just getting into the shoulder joint a little bit. Eventually we'll lift it up, take a big inhale, and on your exhale, start to lay this arm down behind you. And it's really nice, you take that out from under your head, to bring the shoulder all the way to the floor. To do this, the top leg is going to have to readjust a little bit. So I'm Sometimes I even like to place a block between the legs. This just really releases the hips and lets me let that shoulder come to the ground. Take another big breath here. Take one more inhale. On the exhale, bring the arm up and over, back into that side position. And we're going to do this a couple of times. Let's inhale, exhale, lay that shoulder down, take a deep breath in, and exhale to move it back to the front of the body. Take a deep breath in, exhale, open it up like you're painting a rainbow over your body. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, move the arm back over. And just one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Stay for the inhale. Exhale back over. Good. And then you can move back into your side position. And we'll just pull the top knee into the chest. Maybe remove the ankle out a little bit. Slide the hand down the shin, either to the ankle, the foot, the toes, and we're going to start to draw the foot back and point the knee down the mat toward the very end of the mat. Now, sometimes my knee likes to fly up, but I want to try to keep it in line with my hip. Let's just take a couple deep breaths here. Really roll that shoulder back, and you can begin to add a little bit of engagement here by pressing the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot, bowing the front of the body. This is called half bow on your side. It's probably my favorite way to do bow. It's the easiest on my knees. And let's take one more breath. And release. You can also, of course, do that pose with a strap. You can grab onto your pants. It doesn't matter as long as you're getting that opening in the chest. Now let's go ahead and roll onto our bellies and just take a minute to kind of reposition. Maybe put your chin on your hands, make a little pillow for your chin or your head. Rock your hips. You can come up onto your toes and rock your heels. And then we're going to move into a little bit of a cobra sequence. Cobra pose, you have your hands right next to your chest, the fingertips up right under the shoulder tips. And then a low cobra, you pull the elbows in toward the back body. Just lift the head slightly, and then you're going to engage the core by gently lifting up. Keep your toes on the floor. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, lower down. Take another deep breath in. On the exhale, lift up. Now you can add a little pressure into the hands. See if you want to go a little higher. Take a breath in. On the exhale, lower down. You can go the same height each time or go higher with each breath. Take a breath in. Exhale as you push up a little higher. Now we're getting into high cobra, even a little bit of up dog, and breathe. And exhale down. That's good for that. Let's take our arms down by our sides. Flop a little bit side to side with your legs in your butt again. And then with your face forward, chin on the mat maybe, or your nose, or even your forehead. We're just going to lift the arms up to about the height of the back body. Then you can lift the legs up. You want to make sure your knees are off the floor. I like to point my toes and my hands. This is called Superman. Breathe deep. You can really feel the breath in your belly. This is good, strengthening for the back, the spine. Take about 3 breaths and then relax. If you've been turning your head one way the whole time, maybe it's time to turn it the other way. And then back to center. This time we'll reach the arms out in front of us. And we'll bend the right knee first, or whichever knee you like actually, and start to reach back for that foot. If it's easy to grab your toes, you can just grab them and gently push the heel toward the glutes. If it's hard to grab, you can always grab your pants. You can wrap a strap around your foot and hold it here. And then you want to bring yourself back to center with your heart in the center of your mat. And that's where you can feel the calf stretch, not the calf, the thigh stretch right here. Take some more deep breaths. Of course, if you'd like to come into full bow, you can grab both feet, pressing hands into feet, feet into hands. I personally prefer half bow, one at a time. And then coming down, take a breath. And then we'll reach back for the other foot. During this time, you can be doing pretty much whatever you like. Think about centering the heart. Maybe even think about pointing out through the kneecap so you get a little extra stretch across the front of the leg. And release. Good. And then I'm going to come all the way up and face the other direction so you can see me on my other side, so I don't have my back to the camera. But you would just roll over onto your other side. Let's come on up. If you're with me in this part, let's add a little child's pose. Make sure you're not suddenly rounding your spine. You want to make sure that you go nice and slow. The spine has been in a back bend. And then slowly coming back up, we'll lay down, facing the other direction, and we'll finish our other side. Let me grab my block. Okay, so come into that 90-degree angle, hips to knees, knees to feet. Let's take a deep breath or two here. And let's go backwards into our flow. Let's start with, actually, I was going to start with the twist. Let's start with the bow shape again here. So we'll pull the knee in, slide the hand down the shin to the ankle, the toes, maybe a strap as you draw the leg back. You don't even have to touch the foot, just bringing the foot toward the glute and then opening the arm back in the direction of the foot can be a full pose. Deep breaths. If you're going to add a little bit of tension, if you're holding the foot, pressing it into the hand into the foot, open that shoulder and breathe. Feels good to be in our bodies today and to be alive. Slowly releasing that. Let that foot come down. Maybe bend the knee a little bit. And let's do our twist. So we'll take the arm up, twist out the wrist, wiggle those fingers. We want lots of good circulation. Maybe make some big circles with your elbows. Getting into the shoulder joint a little bit. Inhaling, reaching up. On the exhale, you're going to roll back. You can take the block out from under your head, maybe slide it between your knees so that your head, your shoulders are flat on the floor. One more inhale. On your exhale, sort of relax. And then another inhale. Now on the exhale, bring the arm over. And now we'll move with our breath. Inhale here. Exhale to open the arm like the big mouth of an alligator. Stay for the inhale. Move back with the exhale. Inhale. Twist on the exhale. Inhale. Back on the exhale. If you'd like to do another one, feel free. If you're finished, you'll just rest and we'll slowly move ourselves into that full body, all in one line, balancing pose. Reach out with your arms. You can even grab your block between your hands. Point those toes. Try to get as wobbly as you can here on your side so you're engaging the core. Get a little extra wobble going, maybe a rock back and forth. And your breath is slow. And then we'll move back into bent knees. Okay, and we'll finish with our clamshell series. Starting with the feet together, let's open and close the top knee. And see if you'd like to rearrange your knees. I like to point mine down a little bit more. I just feel like I have more leverage. It really depends on your spine and your hips and how they are configured together. Remember, just keeping with your breath. We're waiting for that hip to start to talk to us. That's what I like to think of it as. At first, you don't really feel anything in the hip, and slowly the sensation begins to heighten, or you might say it gets a little noisier. If you'd like, maybe just one more, and then to rest with a breath. And then keeping the knee together, you can lift the top foot up and away. Movements like these are really good for the brain as well because they are asking our neurons to make connections that they don't usually make, which is one of the reasons why yoga is so good for the brain. Maybe just one more. And then we'll lift the whole leg as a unit, keeping the knee bent. We're weightlifting with our hip. Maybe one more. And then relaxing, maybe stretching the leg out. Take a deep breath. And then let's bring our hand to our heart. Maybe tuck your chin a little bit and just pause for a moment of gratitude. Think of a few things in your life that are so good right now. Let that feeling fill you up. And then you can take that top hand in front of you, maybe stretch out the top leg, push yourself up to seated. And that's our sequence for today. Namaste.